So now what we're going to talk about is the rally clip. This is how your tripod is going to come when you get it. You'll have a rally clip somewhat attached up here. So the rally clip usually is attached to some kind of an accessory like this, whether it's here or whether it's another little smaller mount or a V-yoke, or even like one of our tack tables that I'll talk about here in a little bit. But it's usually attached to something and it's not going to be on your tripod. You're going to take this off and you're going to have this attached to your spotter like this in your pack somewhere else. You can leave it attached, and some of these spotters allow you to fold it down like this, some of the heads, to be able to get that into your pack and leave it attached in your pack if you want to do it like that. Sometimes I'll do that like that if I have a spotting head like this little Manfrotto here that can go 90 degrees. You can drop your scope to the side completely, and then it's nice and compact, but it's still on the tripod, so you don't have to take the time to lock it back in and just be ready to set your tripod up right out of your pack like this. So that's how the rally clip kind of goes on and off, and I'll give you a little more closer view of the rally clip here. We'll step up here and I'm going to show you a little close-up of the top. So this is what it looks like on the top when you don't have an accessory on here. So we have 3 pins on top of the head here, these 3 standoffs. Those are on top of the head permanently, and you can kind of see how there's a pocket that the clip goes on there. To get it on, you're going to put your fingers on these points here and rotate it on, and you can kind of see how that rotated on there. And then you can kind of see there's some grip spots here on the side. It requires you to have all 3 of those pushing in at the same time to rotate it off. You can kind of see how these 3 little tabs in here kind of push in, and it unlocks that lock tab from the pin underneath, and it unlocks that to be able to come off. So both hands are there to grab your scope when you get it off of there. The rally clip lives on the accessory that you have. So if you want multiple accessories in the field, like a V-yoke or a tack table or another spotter setup, maybe a binocular mount, you're going to want to get more than one of these so that you can have one of these clips on each one. And there's 2 different kinds of clips. This is the standard clip. This clip is made of all plastic. It has a metal washer in here, a stainless washer with a bolt. As you can see, there's 3 rubber bumpers that are on the bottom here that make a connection to the head. So that what happens when you rotate this on is it squeezes that clip onto there and pressures down onto the head and creates that resistance pressure there. There is still the ability that can compress, but when you run your spotter, you're running your spotter pan tilt loose enough to where it's not going to move. That's not where it's going to move. It's going to move within the head, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. But that's how the rally clip goes on and off. You lock it on like that, and you take it off, pushing all 3 points. If you try to push on just one, it won't come off of there. Even if you push 2 of them like that, you can kind of see how that third one is holding it on there. You have to push all 3 of them to get that to come off there. So both hands have to be on here to get it. Don't try to crank it on like this with one hand. For one thing, you can't because you have an accessory on here. Don't try to turn your accessory to get it on. Yeah, you use the side of it right here. That's what these little hooks are for, and that's what these little push points are for, is to get that on and off. Now I'm going to show you a little bit different option on the rally clip. This is the 2.0 clip that I have on my spotting setup. Most spotting setups, if you don't glass a lot, you can get away with the standard rally clip on a spotting setup. It works really well for that, and in fact these little rubber bumpers actually absorb some of the wind vibration in your scope. It's proven to me to do that. It probably takes a little bit away. It's not all of it, but it seems like it's less violent of an image in your scope when you have these little rubber pads on here. So I like to use this for your standard spotting setups, but you can, if you're looking for a little bit stiffer setup there, if say you don't like that little bit of movement for whatever reason, maybe you glass really tight with a tight setup like that, You're going to want to get the 2.0 clip. It's a little bit more expensive because it's expensive to make this plate. This is a spring steel plate that's in here. So that's a piece of spring steel, and you can kind of see there's 3 little grooves cut in it. So with the 2.0 clip, you lock it onto the head the same way. You're gonna line it up with those little pockets right there, and it locks on the same way. What happens is that the underside of this, you can kind of see there's a little washer underside there that rubs on the top side of these hooks, and when that hook starts to compress down on there, it compresses this surface to the top of the head, and that spring steel will then flex on there. So it kind of creates like a micro truss, we call it. So it's a triangulated truss effect that happens when you lock this onto there. And it's a really solid setup, so it creates a solid connection between the top of the head and the clip. And of course the clip is bolted solid to the bottom of your accessory. One of those accessories that works really well for the 2.0 clip is our tack table and shooting bag. We call this the top plate tack table, and it has a stuffed filled shooting bag, and we fill that shooting bag with some of the shavings that we make these parts out of. All these parts are machined. They're not injection molded yet. So this whole setup weighs about 1 pound, and we like to use the 2.0 clip on this. It comes with the 2.0 clip. You're able to turn it on that 2.0 clip, but that 2.0 clip allows you to lock in solid so that there's not a lot of movement between this connection and the head. So if we set this up on our spotter here and we lock that in, and now we're set up to where we can lay our gun in here and we can move it this way, we can move it this way. There's a little bit of tension in that connection there, which is adjustable, but you can lay your gun in here and have a nice shooting bag set up that lays in here, and it's a solid setup to be able to take a shot from. Now normally when you're standing up, you're probably not going to shoot more than 300 yards in a standing position without additional support on you, whether it's another stick under the back of your gun, or some guys go down on and use a bipod and use the leg of the tripod. You can still do that with this tripod, but for the most part this is how the tack table works. It has a side mount right here so that you can mount an accessory like a rangefinder or a cell phone mount. That little side mount is a 1/4-20, so you can put a bolt in it to put a stud, to make a stud on the top to be able to thread on any accessory, but you can have a mount both ways. We leave it with a threaded insert so you can mount underneath or above instead of just one way or the other. So you could actually have a mount above for a spotter, an extra little spotter, or a camera, when you can put a rangefinder below it. It's just a tack table mount, so you can have an accessory on each side. The bag is removable off of the top of the plate. You can unhook it off of here and remove it from these bungees right here. They unhook. Sometimes you need a little pick to get it on and off of there, but you can get this bag off of here if you want to use a different bag, or if you just want to use the plate itself for anything, you can do it like that. I'll show you one thing up close. There's a stud underneath there that sticks up out of there, so you can take the bag off and you can actually thread on another spotter on top of the tack table and put the bag on the bench to use at a shooting range, so you can have the spotter on your tack table with your rangefinder, and then you can use the bag for your shooting bench. So another accessory that we sell is a V-yoke. This is a common setup for shooting, and the V-yoke comes with a standard rally clip. You don't need the 2.0 rally clip for the V-yoke because you're really not putting any pressure on this. This is just a simple rest for your gun. The V-yoke can spin like this. It has the ability to twist on top of there. When you tighten that back down on there, it tightens on there tight. So when you buy one of these, you get another rally clip, a standard rally clip with it. It works the same going on and off, to where you line it up like this and you clip it, and now you have your V-yoke on here where you can spin this around, lock it in, lay your gun in here and shoot. And that's a common setup, very common setup. So if you're looking for a V-yoke to go with your tripod, check out the V-yoke on the accessories page or the peripherals page on the website, and you'll be able to find these and add it to your cart. if you're looking for that. Same thing with the tack table. You can look at the tack table on the website a little bit more, get a little more detail on that. It's under the top plate tack table page on the website.